Hello everyone, it's Miss Martinez. You may have noticed that there is a new app on your iPad called ProCreate. This is a program that we will be using in class, and that is really washed out. There we go. We're going to go ahead and open up the app, and I'm going to give you a walkthrough of what to expect and how to use some of the tools before our first walkthrough project. All right, so I have a lot of work here because I have been using ProCreate for a little bit now. But when you first open ProCreate, you will see these 4 lovely pieces of artwork. To create your own piece of artwork, you are going to hit the little plus sign up at the top. There are a lot of different options, and it is kind of difficult to see, but it's screen size, square, 4K, A4, 4x6 photo, paper, comic, FaceTime. Face paint, not FaceTime. You're going to choose paper, which is 11 by 8.5 inches. This is a standard size piece of paper. You will notice that the paper is in landscape. If you need your paper in portrait, you're going to use 2 fingers and rotate it to portrait. You can do this with 1 hand or 2. It does not matter. It just takes 2 fingers to rotate. Same thing for zooming in. You're going to zoom in, zoom out using 2 fingers. All right, so that is your paper. The next tool we're going to look at is the color wheel. So you have this little black circle right here. If you click on it, it's going to pop up with a color wheel. And you'll have a couple different options to view for the color wheel. I suggest using the disc because it's going to be the easiest to use. This outer circle determines the color that you're working in. All right, so I have just moved to a yellow. You'll notice that my square is still black. The reason for that is that this inside circle has black, white, and the color. And in the middle, there's a perfect blend of all 3. If I double tap in the yellow, it'll give me a true yellow-orange because that is what we're currently on. If I double tap in the white, it'll give me a pure white. If I double tap in the black, it'll give me a pure black. And again, the center will give you the perfect center for all 3 of those colors mixed. I am going to switch over to a nice bright purple, which is my favorite color. So we have a purple selected, and I'm going to skip over to the paintbrush. All right, so this is the brush library. There are dozens of different types of brushes, and this is without creating any brushes, which we will hopefully get to learn later this semester. So I'm going to choose Inking Syrup. It is one of my go-to brushes. And if you double click on it, it's going to bring you up to this page to manipulate the brush, but we don't need that. We're going to click on our pad and we're going to write. So, I love design. All right, so if I want to erase something or undo something, over on the sidebar, you'll notice there are 2 dials. There is a square in between and an arrow at the bottom. This arrow is undo, and the one underneath it is redo. So if I decide I don't like how I wrote the word design, I can undo it. Or I really liked how I did that first letter, I can redo it. Now, what you do not want to do is if I go and I hit gallery, and I go back into it, I can no longer undo or redo. It has saved the paper, so you are stuck with it as is. So if I want to erase something, I can come over to the eraser. Just like with the paint brushes, you have all the different types of brushes for erasing. And you'll notice that when I clicked on my eraser, the dial over here switched down to brush size 11%. You can change your brush size, whether you're drawing, erasing, or blending, using this top dial here. So I'm going to erase. But you know what? I want to erase everything. So I'm going to come over here, to these two little squares, and then I'm going to slide to the left. I'm going to click clear. If I only have one layer, when I slide to the left, it'll give me the option to clear. If I have more than one layer, it'll give me the option to delete. So it really just depends on what it is you're trying to do. So on my first layer, I'm going to draw a heart. And I'm going to go over to my second layer, and I'm going to draw another heart, but this time the heart is black. All right. I can go into gallery, go back into the assignment, and I can still separate the two hearts because they are on different layers. If I decided I wanted the purple heart on top, I can move it. But if they were both done on the same layer, then I would have to redraw everything. So layers are going to be your best friend. The other really important feature that I need to show you is right over here. You're going to go over to the little toolbar where it has Add, Canvas, Share, Video. So Share is where you're going to save your photos. So when we save assignments, I will tell you what kind of file you need to save it as. Currently, we will use JPEG. It's going to say exporting. You're going to click Save Image, and it's going to save it to your photos. The other feature is video. Time-lapse replay. And this is going to show me everything that you did to create your artwork. And there's an option to export your time-lapse, which you will be using to submit. So I'm going to give you an example. So this assignment has lots of layers. So I can turn different parts on and off. And then when we look at the time lapse, it's really difficult to see. I don't know why it's got that blinding light, but so when I drew this character, I drew it completely from scratch in ProCreate. But for a design class, we will still be doing our pre-production in our sketchbooks, and then we will take it to ProCreate to digitize it. But you will not be drawing from scratch in ProCreate at this point in time. As we do different projects, I will teach you different skills within ProCreate. So I turned off the character so I could work on the background. All right. And so I would submit this time lapse with my JPEG for Google Classroom. I will walk you through submitting an assignment when it is time to do so from ProCreate. This is the end of our quick walkthrough on the different tools. And the next time we meet, I will be giving you a walkthrough on creating our first project in ProCreate. See you then.